This past summer, I shared a personal story about my brother's fight with prostate cancer. After the story aired, my brother and I were invited to a prostate cancer conference in Washington, D.C. We never could have imagined all of the inspiring people we would meet or the stories that we'd hear. One of those stories is about Sherry Galloway and her son's personal battle, a story of a mother's grief and facing a son dying young. This is Jeremy, a champion for the environment, working for organizations like Greenpeace.
Mostly he was a climber, hiker. He was just, a really fit guy, vegan, healthy, poster child for all good health.
In 2005, at the age of 34, Jeremy started having a great deal of back pain.
And he went to his doctor, and his doctor did an MRI and didn't look it over real closely, but did one and then sent Jeremy to a physical therapist.
After a year of being treated for back pain, Jeremy's symptoms got worse. He was more tired than usual, and his pain intensified. He went back to the doctor. Jeremy was grossly anemic, and the doctor took a closer look at the original MRI, which now seemed more suspicious. Test after test was run.
But the bone biopsies weren't real clear. It looked like they were prostate cancer cells. The oncologist said, well, that's impossible, because he's only 35. He had just turned 35 at the end of January.
But Jeremy did have prostate cancer, and the news kept getting worse. A bone scan showed the cancer had metastasized.
Where it's black on a bone scan is tumor. His entire pelvis was black, his entire spine was black, his entire clavicle, the collarbones, black, with a few spots of black on his skull.
This started a battle that Sherry never could have imagined.
And it's devastating. As a nurse, when I saw the scan, I thought, my son's gonna die. As a mother, my son's not gonna die. We're gonna find something.
Jeremy fought hard through unbearable pain for 18 months and tried everything from conventional treatments to experimental ones. But in the end, the man who spent his life trying to save the world could not be saved. In 2007, at the age of 36, Jeremy lost his battle.
You're sitting there waiting for him to die and wanting him never to die? That's the most horrific experience in the world. This cancer just decimates human beings. And I watched him just disappear. And this work keeps me sane, and probably from time to time has kept me from walking in front of a bus.
Sherry hopes to use her pain to help others realize that prostate cancer is no longer an older man's disease. She's taken her grief and her message to Capitol Hill to testify before the Department of Defense, hoping to increase funding for research and ultimately get younger men tested.
You can say, okay, 10% of the men right now who will die this year, 32,000 something of prostate cancer, 10% of those men will be under 40. That might only be 3,000 men, okay? That's 100% of my children who died. I had one child, he's dead.
I come from the forest, and I am a tree, and this process is natural, even for me.
Jeremy gave voice to this poem he wrote about a month before he died. It's still a reminder to Sherry of his love for the world he lived in and the fight he waged every day to save it. His passion inspires Sherry in her newest battle, to keep other young men like Jeremy from dying before their time.
I want to see baby blue ribbons along with the pink ones. I don't want less research into breast cancer, but I want an equal amount of research into prostate cancer. And that's my goal. I can't bring my son back, but I damn well can tell his story.
One of the frustrations for people like Sherry is that funding for prostate cancer research has been flat for so many years. And of course, without research, we know less, we have fewer screening tools, and fewer medications in our arsenal. But the facts are 1 in 6 men will get prostate cancer in his lifetime, and the younger you are, the more aggressive it tends to be. But the PSA blood test is quick, it's easy, and it's a great early detection tool. Sherry just hopes that more men will start getting that test younger. If her son had, he might still be here today.
Elise, I should know this, but does insurance pay for the PSA test?
Well, I actually called 2 different insurance companies, and both said if it is part of preventive care, then it's covered. Some insurance companies won't cover the PSA until a man is 40, but they're not too expensive. And if you just can't afford it, look for free health fairs in your area where you can get a free screening.
Good advice. I get a annual checkup every year, and that test is part of it. So
good for you.
You know, every man should do it.
Absolutely.
All right.